UFC 199 was not playing. But before I get into it, I wanted to say, yeah, we did lose one of the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. I'll make another video discussing that, about my thoughts on Muhammad Ali and the loss. But UFC 199, what a card. What a great card. There were so many shocking knockouts. There was one underwhelming fight that I'll get into, who I was rooting for. But boy, 199 really showed us some great knockouts, great action, great fights, toe-to-toe fights. And let's get to Clay Guida. Guida, that's my boy. I was rooting for Guida against Ortega, but Guida, he got caught. I really did think he was winning all 3 rounds. So when it head into the 3rd round and there was only about like 30 seconds left, 25 seconds left, and he got caught with that knee, I was shocked, depressed. I was like, oh, my boy Guida, because Guida is a veteran. He's been in the game for a long time, and you would think he would at least fight for the belt, because this guy's so energetic, so loved by fans. And to see him go down like that against Ortega got him, man. He was going for broke, because I think Ortega was losing overall, but he went for broke, and he got him with that knee. Caught him with the knee and took Guida down. So I don't know where Guida goes from here. I really do think he's a great fighter. Overall, he's a good fighter, but a lot of times he loses by decision, and he's been getting checked a couple times. So, I mean, that was a hard pill to swallow when it came to that fight for Guida, because Guida just went down, and I was sad, man, because I'm a big Guida fan, and I like him. I like Clay. He's been in some wars, bro. Robert Herta, I remember him that war. That was an amazing fight, and of course, him and Diego Sanchez was awesome as well. So moving on from Guida, another fight that really caught my eye was Henderson. We had Polier beat Green, and I caught that because I went somewhere. I caught the end of that fight, and he had some hands. He had some great hands against Green. So that was a pretty good fight. I think that was a KO. Also, Henderson versus Lombard. Oh my God, Dan Hendo Henderson, like 45 years old. This guy is Randy Couture status at this point. So when you would think that he needs to retire. He was at his hometown. I honestly believe that I thought he was going to say he was going to retire, win or lose at the end of this fight. Boy, that knockout he did with the elbow was awesome. I mean, that knockout, and then just finishing it off. Hendo doing it again, man. Hendo knocking people out that you wouldn't think. I mean, the guy was up in age, but like Hendo delivering another knockout out of nowhere that's just him. Sometimes he delivers knockouts out of nowhere. He has a hard chin, because a couple times he got rocked, and I thought he was going to go down for good. But he's got a chin as well. He's got a nose. But Hendo really proving himself and leaving us up with the cliffhanger, saying maybe this is my last time. I don't know, but it feels like, I mean, it might be my last time here. This is my last fight, and what a high note to go out. So, I mean, Dan Henderson is one of the greatest of all time. He is a legend. This dude, I mean, they showed the stats. They showed how many wins. They showed how many knockouts. I mean, this guy has been around. He's been champs he's been a champ all over the place. So, if this is Dan Henderson's last fight, it was definitely, he ended it in a high note. He ended it in a badass fashion. So good for Henderson. Another fight I want to talk about real quick is Holloway versus Lamas. And boy, Holloway looked clean, ferocious. He pinpointed his shots. He did get caught in a couple of shots, but boy, when he pinpointed those shots, he looked fantastic in that ring. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Holloway, but just watching him in that ring, man, he really looked great, and he really picked his shots. He really was calm, cool, collective in there. He had Lamos on the rocks for a little bit on the cage, but he kind of allowed him to kind of. He didn't just go too aggressive. He would rock him and then kind of pin his shots, like, okay, boom, boom. So Holloway's hands were great. What I really loved about Holloway in that fight was his body shots. I mean, this kid was throwing some body shots in there, even threw a little knee in there with the body shot. I mean, that was great. And then at the end of the fight, really, like Joe Rogan said, it was pretty damn awesome when it's like, I'll right here at the closing seconds of the fight. He's like, right here, let's go, man, mano y mano, let's just swing. And they were swinging, and that was a very exciting fight, especially when you're underneath the second main card of the night. So that was Holloway. Holloway and Lamas did some damage. So there was some great fights. It was a slugfest, those two, at a couple moments here and there. Now Dominic Cruz and Ryan Faber, man. I am a big Faber fan. I love Faber. I think I've seen him live. I've seen him against Jens Pulver, the first fight. It's a California kid, man. I've always been a fan of Faber. I always think, I think this was his last shot of winning the belt. I mean, if he wants that UFC belt, this was the last shot, and he had to go for broke. And I was disappointed in him tonight. I mean, I think Dominic Cruz had a great game plan. I think he was very elusive, and he was unorthodox himself, even though that stance was just a little bit weird. And he caught Faber with a great shot. I believe it was an overhand right, or it might have been left, and he sent Faber just going on the ground. I thought Faber was done for, but what saved Faber I believe the second round, what saved Faber in the second round was that high leg, like he while he was on the ground on his back, he threw a leg kick or he threw an upward leg kick, and he barely caught Cruz enough to stop his momentum. So I think that's what saved his ass. And Faber, man, it took him a while, but he recovered, and I'm surprised Dominic Cruz didn't pounce on him, but he really was, just like Holloway, he was like picking his shots, and he allowed Faber to recover. But it didn't matter what Faber recovering or not. After that shot, after he almost got knocked out, he just wasn't the same. He wasn't going after Cruz. He wasn't attempting any takedowns. He wasn't even throwing those famous leg kicks that I think he has. He has some great leg kicks. He wasn't even using that. He wasn't throwing his punches anymore. Even at later rounds, Dominic Cruz wasn't even throwing his punches. So Faber really was a letdown on this one. I mean, even his corner was telling him, come on, dude, get at it, be aggressive, go. This is it. You got a minute 30. Get at it. Be aggressive. And he wasn't the aggressor. And I'm very disappointed in that. I'm very disappointed in Faber not just pulling that trigger, because I think he knows, and I think a lot of his fans know, that was probably his last shot. And maybe he has another shot somewhere along the lines, but I think that's the last shot of him winning the belt. I don't think he's going to pull a Bisping. Yeah, I see how I did that? Because we have Bisping versus Luke Rockhold. Now, Luke Rockhold, of course, taking out Chris Weidman, and I thought I was going for Chris, but he got dominated by Luke, man. And I don't remember seeing Luke in the Strikeforce, honestly. But with Luke versus Michael Bisping, I mean, I'm not a fan of Michael Bisping, but when Michael Bisping came in there, he looked pretty good. He looked like he didn't look out of shape or anything like that. He did kind of look like he was coming off the couch a little bit, but overall, like, you just don't fall asleep on Michael Bisping, because he does have those hard right hand, and he does have he could deliver some shots. But I did think, coming into this fight, I honestly didn't really care actually who won. I was just looking for some great fights. With Daniel Cormier and John Jones fight, that's a different story. But when Michael Bisping came in to Luke Rockhold, and it was mano a mano, toe to toe, I didn't see neither one of them were in danger in the first couple minutes, or the first minute. I think Bisping, really, you could tell that he was setting some punches up. You could tell he was very comfortable in the ring. You could tell Luke was not very. He definitely, when he was coming in here, he looked like he was whatever. I mean, he just didn't have the attitude of, like, I'm ready to go to war. He looked like he had an attitude like, let's just get this over with. So him saying at the end of this fight, like, I took him for granted. I think he was true about that, man. He's not lying. I mean, when Bisping, but you got to give it to Bisping. Bisping, he rocked him. You get it? He rocked him. He rocked him, and he put him down, and he put him on his ass, and then Luke kind of recovered, but Bisping rocked him again, and just delivered the final blows and they stopped it, and Bisping is now the new champ, and that's just insane, man. I'm surprised Bisping has never won the belt yet, so that's kind of surprising. But overall, you got to give it to Bisping. I mean, Bisping, 17 days notice, taking this fight. I mean, this was his dream. This is the chance of a lifetime, and he just we love upsets. We love underdogs, and he's exactly what he was. That's exactly what he was. It was an underdog, and he did everything right to win that belt. He went in there. He was aggressive. He threw punches. He was gaining confidence. He was comfortable in the ring. Never looked like he was going to get hurt by Luke, and he did what he needed to do to win that fight. So absolutely, I like the idea of Bisping winning this fight tonight, and he did. He won the fight, and I like that idea a lot. So it's not even an idea; it came true. So Bisping holding on to the belt, I don't think so. I think there's too much competition in that division for Bisping not. I mean, he could prove me wrong, but I think Bisping is not going to hold that belt too long. But overall, great card tonight. I really did. There wasn't really any. I wasn't like taking notes or anything like that. We're saying, the fighting overall, what people could have done to win or what people could have done to lose, because there's a lot of shocking, or not necessarily shocking, but a lot of great knockouts and a lot of great aggressive moves. The only thing I could really put a note on is Uriah Faber. If I was in that place and I was Uriah Faber, yes, there's a chance of getting knocked down. Yes, there's a chance of being known as the person that gets knocked out. But at least you're going for broke, man. This is the belt. It's on the line. This is the last round. You know you're losing. You got to kamikaze that stuff. You got to go after it. You got to be aggressive, because if you're not, you're going to... Do you want to... It's just like that famous line of Pacific Rim. Do you want to die here, or you want to die in a Jaeger? So I'd rather die in a Jaeger. What can I say? I mean, it's not a very good death, but I'd rather go for broke and see if I can live another day. And Faber, he just didn't want it. He just didn't want it. You could just tell by that fight, he just didn't want it. But get good. It's fantastic to see Faber crumbling. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's interesting to see. It's interesting comparison when Faber's crumbling and Bisping just rises to the challenge, because when he was going into that ring, you could tell he had a lot of confidence and he was ready to take that belt, and that's exactly what he did. So thank you guys for listening. I will be also doing a prediction or just talking about the big card we have with John Jones and Daniel Cormier. Oh my God, I cannot wait for this card. And oh my God, I got another separate video to talk about the return of Brock Lesnar. There is a lot to talk about, and I am not a happy man with Brock Lesnar coming back to the UFC, and I will explain why. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Would really appreciate it. Like the video if you like it, and comment below. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm Dan the Mannequin Daniel's son. I'm out of here. See you guys.